Hi, everybody. Welcome. So today I want to talk about expectations and how our unrealistic expectations can cause some problems for us. So there's a wonderful quote from Anne Lamott that says, "Expectations are resentments waiting to happen." And I like this so much because it's a powerful reminder that unmet expectations can cause us a lot of pain and disappointment, and those ultimately become resentments. That feeling of frustration with ourselves or with other people, that things haven't gone the way that we wanted, that things didn't go as planned, that our needs didn't get met. It's a really, really difficult thing to deal with, and expectations set us up for that potential. So there are a couple of different ways that we can get into trouble with our expectations, and I want to talk to you about both of these so that you can understand how to set more realistic expectations. So the first way is the expectation that things are going to be the same when you actually have information that is informing you that things are unlikely to be the same, that they're probably going to be different. So for example, these are pretty obvious examples. Often in real life, if you will, things are more subtle, and we have to really look for this information. But if your expectation is that this holiday season is going to be the same as last year, but you actually know that some big changes have taken place in your family. Maybe you got a divorce, or your college-age kids are not going to be coming home for the holidays, or your sister has a new baby. Those are all big life events that we know will change the way that the holidays work this way for our family, right? Things are not going to be exactly the same because some significant things have changed. So that's one way. And then the other way is the expectation that things are going to be different when we don't actually have any information to support that idea. So this is really just wishful thinking. So for example, if you have an expectation that this year your dad is going to control his drinking, but every year for as far back as you can remember, your dad has had too much to drink at the holidays and starts acting out, and there's no real information, no facts that something is going to be different this year, then that's that wishful thinking. That's an unrealistic expectation without any actual information, to support the idea that he's going to control his drinking. So, if we actually knew that he had been to rehab, or he was going to AA meetings, or, he'd been sober for the last month, those would be, tangible pieces of evidence that could help us think, oh, yes, there's a possibility that things will be different. But without that, like I said, that's really just it's a hope, it's a wish, and it's an unrealistic expectation that sets us up for the disappointment, the pain, and the resentment, the anger at him for his, bad behavior, and anger at ourselves for expecting things to be different, and then they are not. So setting realistic expectations, it's not, sometimes I think people are afraid that if they set these realistic expectations that they're being really pessimistic and negative. But in fact, if you can set a realistic expectation or have no expectations, it's hard to do, but that's a goal, is to really not expect anything one way or the other. When we can do that, that allows us to plan. That allows us to figure out how best to deal with the situation, because we're working with reality. We can then ask ourselves, given the reality of the situation, what are my options? What can I do, understanding the facts? And the other thing that I think is really helpful about having realistic expectations is it also frees us up from trying to change other people, from trying to change situations or people that are not within our control to change. So those realistic expectations move us closer towards acceptance, and that's where we all want to be. So I want to wrap this up. I have a blog post that I wrote about this same topic, so I will put the link to that blog post in the description for the video. So if you're interested in learning more and would like to read that, you should be able to find that really easily. Okay, thanks so much for tuning in, and I hope that was helpful for you.